going to be very hard. But another story that came up just well in the last week or so is Jay-Z. I'm not the biggest Jay-Z fan in the world, never have been. I think when he came into hip hop, him and Puffy, they made it more materialistic, more narcissistic, more vain. You know, I mean, I've had a lot of arguments with Jonathan Booz, with Quab Bennett, all these people for many years about hip hop. For me, I'm a free speech fundamentalist. I believe people have a right to express themselves the way that they want. It's a free country. At least it's supposed to be a free country. People don't like it. They don't have to listen to it. Blah, 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 etc., etc. But when Jay-Z and people like Puffy started to take over hip-hop and make it more materialistic and more vapid and more vain, that's when I stopped listening to a lot of it. And it forced me to sort of expand my musical palette, which I guess is a good thing, because if you listen to the show on a weekly basis, you guys know I play a whole assortment of music on this show and give props to all kinds of different artists from every genre, from, you know, Brazilian bossa nova to jazz to the blues to rock and roll to, you know, I just played Julio Iglesias about a month ago. You know, and a lot of that came from the fact that I just was not a fan of what modern hip hop was turning into because it was corporate. You know, you know, I don't have an issue with, you know, you expressing yourself if your music is hard edged and rugged and rough, if it's real. If you're coming from a place of anger, you're coming from a place of discontent, which is, you know, why I was attracted to hardcore hip hop when it was about the lives of the discontent. So look, I'm not the biggest Jay-Z homer in the world, but these accusations against him don't smell right to me. I will just say that. So let me give you some context if you don't know what I'm talking about. Jay-Z is saying that a rape allegation made against him is a part of an extortion attempt. Wow. A woman who previously sued Sean Diddy Combs, another person who helped ruin hip-hop to me, that's just my opinion, alleged that she was raped at an award show after an after party in 2000 when she was only 13 years old. Now see, first number one right there. Why are you at an award show after party and you're 13 years old? How is that even possible? Like, where are your parents? Your mom, your dad? If your parents aren't around, where are your grandparents? They just let you go to an award show after party when you're 13 years old? With all these grown people, all these degenerates in the music industry? I used to say this about R. Kelly. Where are all these parents who are allowing their 13, 12, 13-year-old daughters and 14-year-old daughters to be hanging out with R. Kelly and sleeping at R. Kelly's house? I'm not letting my kids sleep in no grown man or woman's house that ain't a relative. Especially not the degenerates in the music industry. I mean, y'all know I love music. I love music more than anything else. Even more than yelling at people about politics. Which I really love as well. But not as much as I love music. But I got to admit, the music industry has always been full of very sick people. I mean, you could go back to Elvis. You could go back to, you know, a lot of these people were woman beaters. Miles Davis, you know, beat plenty of women, including Cicely Tyson, James Brown. You could look at every genre of music. Frank Sinatra, John Lennon was a woman beater. A lot of people don't know that. The media don't talk about John Lennon being a woman beater. You know, he used to make songs with the Beatles threatening women. You better run for your life, little girl. Remember, I mean, if you're a Beatles fan, if you're a real Beatles fan, you know about that stuff. But so I'm trying to figure out, how do these people let their 13-year-old daughter, spend time with these degenerates at an after party for an award show? She's 13. Let me kick this caller. Hello, caller. What's up?
I agree with you, brother. With a lot of this stuff that's going on, especially with Jay-Z, you mentioned something that a lot of people don't want to mention. What is your 13-year-old doing at an after party with grown people?
Exactly.
Scott, when I was in Scott's 17 years old, we had certain family members we wasn't allowed to spend the night at their house because they drink or smoke weed. And my mother and father didn't do it around the kids, but we were not allowed to go over there because my aunts and uncles and some relatives did. So we were not allowed to spend the night at their house. But in this day and age, it's okay for a 13-year-old to go hang out with a 25-year-old, and the parents sit back and want to say, yeah, my daughter hung out with such and such. Everybody is not made to be a parent. And in this day and age, we talk about a lot of people today who are a lot of young kids. It's not this Elvis Presley. What was the other guy? White guy had the Chinese girlfriend, and she was like 12 or 13 years old.
You're probably talking about Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah, Elvis Presley had a 12-year-old. It's on and on. This is nothing new, not right. And as you just said, they will not speak upon what John Lennon and those white people did, but if you ever want to tear a black person down, spread a rumor with black people, and believe me, within 24 hours after they talk, you would think they were there.
Right. Right. Thank you for your call, brother. It's all good. I agree. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Jay-Z in the world. Never been a huge fan of his music or whatever. But to me, this just doesn't smell right. Now, he wasn't even a part of the original lawsuit. They amended the lawsuit on Sunday to include a new allegation that Jay-Z was also at the party and participated at the sexual assault. So the girl just didn't remember at the time that one of the most richest billionaires in the music industry just was one of the people who raped her. She just thought it was Puffy at first. But all of a sudden, oh my God, wait, Jay-Z was at the party too and he was molesting me. I mean, come on, man. I like I said, I'm not a Jay-Z guy or Beyonce, to be honest. I'm not a big, huge fan of the Carter Knowleses. I respect their talent, but I'm not the hugest fan of them. But to me, a lot of this does not pass the smell test. Now, Jay-Z came right back, and he denounced it. He said these allegations were idiotic and heinous in nature. He also said that he had sued the woman's lawyer, Tony Busby, last month, alleging that he was trying to blackmail the rapper by threatening to make the rape allegations public if he didn't agree to a legal settlement. Now, y'all need to know who Tony Busby is. He's the guy who got all those women to come out against Deshaun Watson, the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. He somehow found like 30 women who said that he touched all of them or something. So he's, I spoke to this dude from Houston, and he said that Tony Busby is known for being like an ambulance chaser in the Houston area. So between that, I'm not saying that I think Jay-Z is a saint, because I don't. Obviously don't. I don't think you rise to the level in the music industry. Any of these people. Clive Davis has a lot of dirt. Jimmy Iovine, going back to the days of Morris Levy. All these people who are running the music industry and Hollywood. It's not just the music in Hollywood. Look at Harvey Weinstein. They sacrificed Harvey Weinstein. He made somebody mad up in Hollywood, and they said, we're going to get Harvey Weinstein out the paint. But if you think Harvey Weinstein was the only degenerate in Hollywood doing what he was doing, using his power to molest all those young girls. You crazy. And all of Hollywood knew about it too. Seth MacFarlane from the Family Guy joked about it at the Oscars. He joked about it. Keep the young girls away from Harvey Weinstein. At least that was like the sort of tenor of the joke he told. And everybody in the crowd laughed because they all heard the rumors. And yet you see Oprah, you see all these actors and celebrities, you all see them smiling and hugged up with Harvey Weinstein. Barack Obama sent his daughter to go work for Harvey Weinstein. Malia Obama. Now, I don't think he'd be crazy enough to try to molest the president's daughter. But you better believe that the Secret Service checked out Harvey Weinstein and checked out anything that could be not right with him before they sent the first daughter to go work for him or intern for him. So this idea that people don't know what's going on in Hollywood or the music industry or with Hugh Hefner, all those years, you had feminists, you had religious people all protesting Hugh Hefner, saying Hugh Hefner is sick, he exploits women. You had all this, and you saw so many Hollywood celebrities. Oh no, Hugh Hefner is basically a living saint. Oh my God, Hugh Hefner is the greatest guy around. Come to find out after he dead, this dude was literally committing bestiality. He was sexually assaulting women. He was pimping women out. He was doing, but while he was alive, none of it came out. And so, no, I am not delusional enough to think that Jay-Z is a saint. Especially considering admittedly, he was a drug dealer. He shot his own brother at one point. That has to make Thanksgiving a little awkward, and Christmas, I'm guessing. He was a crack dealer, so I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, Jay-Z is perfect, or Beyonce's husband is perfect. Nah, I'm not delusional enough to think that. But these allegations against him specifically, and even some of them against Diddy, and I am no fan of Diddy. Anybody knows me, I am no fan of Diddy for his role in getting Tupac and Biggie killed, specifically. Two actually talented individuals who he made a lot of money off of. And after their deaths, but I think Puffy did some of these crimes, but I just don't think there's enough hours in the day for Puffy, Diddy, or whatever to have done all of those crimes. Some of these crimes just seem to be piling on. And they seem to be trying to get a lot of these black so-called billionaires out the paint. Now, like I said, Harvey Weinstein was a sacrifice. They got him out of there. But how many other super rich moguls have they gotten out of there? Like I said, they waited till Hugh Hefner died to reveal all the crap he was doing. And you're not hearing anything about Clive Davis. They're not getting Clive Davis out the paint. There was stuff that rumors about stuff he knew about Whitney Houston, or ways he was involved in the downfall of Whitney Houston, or Phyllis Hyman, or a lot of different people in the music industry. Yet nothing's coming out about him. But every 5 minutes, something coming out about Puffy or Jay-Z. But, Cosby, they took down Cosby. But this once again goes to show you that we have to know that we will not get away with what the other people get away with as black people. R. Kelly should have known better. Cosby should have known better. Diddy should know better. Jay-Z, all these people should know that you got to be super clean. You have to be super clean because they are looking for any reason to take your money and your power and your fame and ruin your name. And I genuinely don't understand how these guys keep falling for these traps that are set out there as if it's impossible to know. I mean, I've watched enough behind the music, enough biographies, read enough books about the music industry to know that it's coming. They are going to come for you. But there's also a theory out there. I've heard this too. I've actually discussed this with other people, and I've always wondered about that. And they tell me, they don't let you get into positions of power unless they have something that they can blackmail you with, or something that they can hold over your head. And if you think about it like that, then it kind of makes sense. Because from my vantage point, a dude sitting in Gary, Indiana in a radio studio, I'm thinking if I had that type of money, I wouldn't even jaywalk. You wouldn't even see me littering. You wouldn't be able to get me for littering. Okay? Because I know that eventually they're going to come for me. But what if they told these people, look, if you want to be a billionaire, you want to be in the Billionaire Boys Club, you gotta party with Diddy, you gotta take part in these rituals, this humiliation rituals, these types of things in order to be able to get in that club where you can be a billionaire or be somebody with extreme amounts of power. And at that point, isn't it just better to just say, I'm okay with being okay. I don't need to be a billionaire. Maybe just a few million is good enough for me, enough to buy a house, enough to buy my mama a house, and to make sure my kids can all go to college and do something productive with their lives. Isn't that's good enough, right? That should be good enough. Maybe I don't need to be worth $2 billion and when you look at how broken a lot of these people are, like Kanye West walking around, they got him up on stuff now. His assistant just came out with all these charges against him and saying that he sexually harassed her. And this is after the tribe have come after him for his various statements about the tribe, the blue and white country, as my man called it in the video. The blue and white country and their inhabitants. Kanye went from being worth $3 billion to losing 90% of his net worth in less than a week. He was debanked for his opinions. You can be debanked in this country for your opinions, for making the wrong people mad or the wrong tribe mad. That happens in the United States of America. So again, you would think these people would want to keep their nose 100% clean. Don't do nothing. But if that is the price of admission, if that is indeed the price of admission, then I think you have to do some soul searching, because you have to say, look, is it worth it? Is it worth it for me to sell my soul to the devil? Literally and figuratively. Is that worth it? Really? Is it really worth it? Yeah, I get to be a billionaire for a year or 2 years. I get to be on the Forbes list a few times. But then the fall back down is going to be so horrific, man. It's going to be brutal. Your kids, whenever they go to school, they're going to hear about how awful you are and how, you did this or that, or you've been accused of this or that. People are going to take glee at you losing money and going from being on the Forbes list to being broke or being in prison and being incarcerated. I'm sure right now, Diddy is kicking himself saying, I don't think this was worth it. How's it going to be worth? And now his kids are in it. His sons are accused of sexual assault and rape and all these things. His sons are accused of these horrible things now. Is that worth it? His sons are accused of being a part of this degeneracy. I don't think it's worth it. I genuinely don't think it's worth it. That's why the goal should be to live a good life. I don't want to tell people what to believe or what not to believe in. I personally believe in Christ, but you don't have to. Living in a good life, you can do that in any religion or no religion at all. But selling your soul, as we're seeing in the case of people like Diddy and possibly Jay and these other supposed moguls, bro, when they come for you, when they want you, it's all over. They got Russell Simmons too. Russell Simmons can't even come back in the country without like being worried about being arrested. He's hiding out in Bali for years. Dude, Cosby went to prison. R. Kelly's in prison. It ain't worth it. Live a good life. You maybe you won't be as rich as those people have gotten to. Maybe you won't get to that, but you can still be good. You can still be good. You can still make enough money just to get your mama a house, just to get yourself, be able to invest in real estate and other businesses and help your community and things like that. Live a good life. That is the goal. All right, folks, I'll hop off the soapbox. Chop it up with me on Twitter at The Chemist Lives. The Chemist is spelled with the K, as I am a product of the Gary Community School System. Sorry, Miss McCready. We can talk about politics, music, sports. You can tell me how terrible I am at this. Or you can just watch clips from this show on my YouTube page, Scott Cannon Radio. I try to have them up there by Monday afternoon. You can listen to me every Friday right here. Same bat time, same bat channel, 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time every Friday. So for station owner Marion Williams, station manager Natalie Ammons, I'm Scott Cannon. This was Issues and Answers on WLTH 1370 AM. God bless the working class. God bless organized labor. I'm out, humans.